So at the end of the day, we're in the Zohar, and I chose this Zohar, interesting to me. It deals with the concept. Here we are. Let me just look at what you could see. The page is on page Ayin Gimel. It chooses the question of the Seir. Yosef is called that he lives in a place called Mount Seir. Seir also means hair. He was hairy. Then the concept of the male goat, which is called a seer. It's called, in English, we call it a buck goat. They're all super, super duper masculine. So here we are over in this Zohar. Let's see if I can understand it and say it over. The Zohar says, Talchazi, my Kasev, and he takes this pasuk. V'yikchu haskatainis Yosef, and they took the tunic of Yosef. Halkmuhu. Now this has been explained. The rabbis talked about this in the Bereshis Rabbah, and he said to begin the Ramin Seir Damya, the Doma, the Seir Damya, the Doma, the Barnash, because the blood of a male goat is similar to the blood of a human. Vishudam Seir Damya Lechem, the Dam Ha'adam, Lechein Shachtol Seir Iz, and so that's the reason why, to trick their father, to make him think that it was a brother, they gave him blood. They put the blood of the goat there. But come and see. Even though, even though she'inyan haramiyah she'asa Yaakov klape Aviv. So let's go back, and he says, even though we had this question of where Yaakov turns trickster, she'asa Yaakov klape Aviv, in regards to his father, kedei lekabel habrachos, in order to be able to get the brachos, right? This issue of the blood on the tunic of Yosef is going back on the issue of Yaakov tricking his father. Klape Aved, kedei lekabel habrachos, in order that he should get the brachos. Hayirui, it was fit. V'hiskim HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the Kodesh Baruch Hu, he agreed with it. Al Yada. He calls that even so, that is the line, the middle line of justice. He is very particular about tzaddikim, even to a thread's breadth. Yaakov Ovid Uvada the Goyos. Yaakov, he says, if the Matok tries, Yaakov Asa Maisa Karoa, he did the right thing. For sure, but he said, B'ma, v'omer, begin the akriv, the gabe avoy, seir. So let's look at it more closely. He brought to his father a male goat. The ihi sitra, the dinakashi, because we understand that this kasi, let's see what he says. Let's do the matter. Vesha hikriv of the ave, because he brought to his father seir, a male goat. Shu mitzad dinakashi, because the seir, this hair, or this concept, if you know a male goat, which I do very well, they are super masculine. They are mitzad dinakashi, they are very dangerous in certain circumstances. Shehu midaso shal Yitzchak, which is the midah of Yitzchak. Nobody messes with Yitzchak. V'garam bezecha she'achach gevura the kedush tezgava v'tishlot al koach haklipa. And as a result, I think he means the result of bringing him this seir, which appeared to be like it was Yosef, and it showed the sign of gevura. So therefore, the kedusha tizgava v'tishlot. So therefore, it allows the hashlot, the control of the gevura kedusha to be over tishlot al koach haklipa, to the koach of the klipa, that is really very close to that. Hare asa kahugan. So therefore, we see that Yaakov did the right thing. Pavim called begin the ihu akriv seir. So even so, because he brought this goat, which in fact was v'achishle, and he used it as a trick, la'avoy, to fool his father, the ihu sitra delay, which is the seir comes from the father, and so therefore, and so does Yosef, for that matter, comes to the side of the gevura. Being called hikriv as a seir, that even so, that he brought this goat shlo dato, without b'diasa, without making it known. Verima la'aviv, and he tricked his father, Shuhu Tzad Din, who represents the Tzad Din, the kosher, which represents toughness, firmness in Din, Midas Yitzchak. That is the Midah of Yitzchak. Don't mess with Yitzchak. Cain is Anesh B'hai Seir, so therefore he came in reverse of that. He was punished with the same Seir, a different Seir. The Akrivo le Benoid Domadiles, where the sons brought this torn up tunic for pleasure with the blood of the Seir. It's the same din, it's the same harsh din. Na'anish Yaakov, and therefore he was punished with it. But Seir Zeh Shehikri Bobanev, that his son brought Hadam Shalo, or that blood of that Seir on that tunic. Befar B'Yichud Kasiv, and in regards to it, it's written by Yaakov Kasiv, and Yaakov is written by this. This is written by Yaakov. Ves Oros Gedoy Ha'izim Halbisho Al Yadav Va'al Chelkas Savaro. Remember this story? He said, Kedei, so he said, let me go back, then it doesn't see to translate it. Maybe he did. So he said, Ves Oros Gedia Izim. So he took these lambs. These, actually, Gedia is the kids. The male goat, little, small male goats. Hilbisho al yadav, and he covered their hides on his hands, al chelkas savarovs, and portions of his arms. And he did this kedei the Ramos as Yitzchak, so in order to fool his father, Yaakov shuhu Esav, to think that he's Esav, shuhoya ish Seir, he's a man from Seir, which is a sign of thin caution. Begin kach, and for this reason, Bishvil Zerakasav Abanav, it's written in regards to his son, V'yit below as hakatonis bedam, they took the ketonis and they dipped it in blood. He krivulu hakatonis, that they brought to him this ketonis, the hachish. What do they do? What are they doing? He was the trickster of his brother with the seir, and now they're the trickster of their father with the same seir, same concept, l'rmoso, so to trick him. The kula dov, the couple doves, you see the equivalence of it. All of them are equivalent. V'od, and not only that, Ihu Garm, that Yaakov caused, he caused all of this. He caused, on his father, I guess he means, a tremendous amount of trepidation. He caused pain to his father. Begin kach, he said, because he said, Kashaniknas Esav, because that, when did that start? Esav showed up. The V'amar, Ani bindecha b'chorecha Yosef, I'm your son, I'm your firstborn, I'm Esav. So now it's a tremendous, tremendous problem that he sees in the world of the two claims, the legitimate claim which was done by trickery and the illegitimate claim which is not going away. Begin kach, and for this reason, b'shvil zeh ne'enish, this is the reason why he was punished. Ki garmel le the chared charadas b'hachuzim, because it causes his father also this tremendous amount of perplexion, tremendous deep, deep fear. Shegarmelo banda shechered charada ba'osach hazman dechsiv, and then the sons caused him that, and he caused his father that. Dechsiv haker noach aktonis bindecha. So recognize, please, this garment belongs to your son. He imlo, if that's your garment, if whether it's not, v'yakiru, and he recorded it. V'yomer katonis b'ni chaya ra achalasahu. So he says, they say, it's a ketonis, my son. He says a wild animal ate him up. Tarif Yosef. So he tore up Yosef. Now, that was a story over there. Different kinds of trickeries. You just wonder how the boys actually lived with themselves. Rebbe Kia Amar, the Rebbe Kia says Chosef Amar, so he adds onto this song, and he says like this. Beikatziv, and it's written because of this Yaakov, who tricked his father. So it wrote about that. Va'ata zebini Esav imlo. Are you my son, Esav, or not? And in that language itself, you have to look at the words themselves, contains the punishment. He says, are you my son Esav or not? And then it says, Al-Kain, Lake Siv, in regards to that, bincha im lo. So this one is, are you my son Esav or not? Or is this the ketonis of your son or not? This im lo is a match. So therefore he was punished when the sons used the same language on him that he was involved with his father. Mida keneged mida. It's one mida against another. They're comparable. And this is the reason, as we say, that the Kodesh Baruch Hu, he gets very, very close in examining the deeds of the tzaddikim, b'kol ma'adin and ogdim, and everything that they do. The lakach, and for this reason, ne'enesh, they're punished. The vishach Kodesh Baruch Hu b'dakdekim at tzaddikim, and that's the reason why, because the Kodesh are very careful, very particular about the tzaddikim, b'kol ma'ashem oisim, everything that they do. So now we're coming around to the end. Let's see what it says now. Rabbi Abba says, is so now let's think about this. Now the Shvatim, the sons, they all see what they did to their father. So they saw the tremendous pain their father was in now. So they have regret, definite regret. Al Shemachro as Yosef, in the fact that they sold their son Yosef. The Yosef Yivdun le ilmala yishkun le. The Nasan Navsham, so they really dedicated themselves of Yosef to find a way to get him back. So if they could find him. But then they saw that they couldn't find him. So they weren't able to find him. They came over and they started looking there very closely at Yehuda. And they removed him from being their leader. So the Matuk writes, Chazro el Yehuda. They came back and they started talking to Yehuda. Why? Shuhu Nasan Ha'etza. He's the one that gave the advice originally to sell him. And they removed him from being their king, so to speak. So he said, begin because he really did rule over them. But now they've removed him. They've caused him to abdicate. Then it wasn't say Yehuda. That's why we say that Yehuda came from that position of being the king over his brothers. And he came down. He went down. Pirish Rashi the Lamed, also that they brought him down from his greatness. He was now just an ordinary brother, just a shepherd, another shepherd. And this all happened as a result of their seeing the pain that their father had. So Amro, and so they say like that, Ata Amarta Lemachro. You're the one that said we should sell him. If you would have said him to bring him back to his father, either show me law. We would have listened to you. But he didn't. And so they removed him. That's the Zohar for today. This is Baruch Fleischman at the Tikkun Elevator called